Hi, my name is Ava. I'm one of the co-founders of Politickin with my friend Sam. I'm going to my senior year in high school, and I'm from New York City. So today I'm going to be talking to you and giving you guys an info session about guns in the United States today and in the current state of affairs of our country, gun violence, gun reform, and anything like that. So when people first start talking about guns and gun violence, they immediately think about mass shootings, but it is a lot more than that. And I'm going to be referring to guns in the United States today as an epidemic. It's really important that when I say epidemic, that I'm not talking about it as in guns are bad or guns are good, but that there is this extreme polarization between parties in that legislatures and politicians can't come to a consensus in what exactly to do. So in many countries around the world, guns are outlawed. So for example, in Singapore, people aren't allowed to have guns. But there's one underlying factor in the United States that makes it really tricky to, if there was the decision to be made to outlaw guns, and that's the Second Amendment. And so the Second Amendment states that American citizens have the right to a well-regulated militia, and also that the people have the right to bear arms, and that it won't be infringed. And so basically there is sometimes a little bit of confusion when understanding what that means, but most people believe that means that every single person is allowed to have a gun, and so that there are no laws restricting people to do so, which will include people that have been in prison, people that have that are mentally ill, or any sort of disabilities like that put them away from the average citizen. So this year, the House of Reps had their first hearing surrounding gun reform since 2007, and so the Democrats are really prioritizing a background check bill and tighter policies surrounding gun reform, but it's very split between Republicans and Democrats, so it's becoming much more of a party issue as opposed to an issue that is ruining people's lives or that could change people's lives, because there are many states in America where civilians do rely on guns for hunting or believe that it is their right for protection. So in 2018, the country's response to mass shootings and deaths by guns generated unprecedented progress in 2018. So 26 states as well as DC passed 67 new gun safety laws, and aside from this, there are 22 states that received a so-called failing grade on their gun laws from the Giffords Law Center, meaning that their laws were not nearly safe enough for the population, but that's just one organization's opinion on what could be classified as a failing grade. Another thing to note when looking at gun legislation or gun control in general is that it isn't a black and white issue, and so many people look at it towards the extremes of, oh, we abolish the Second Amendment and no one's allowed to have guns except for enforcement, or everyone's allowed to have guns. But the thing is, in between all of that, there are a lot of different laws that can be put into place to create a medium, or to maintain certain people's rights while other people are happy with certain laws that are in place. But the thing is that parties are having a lot of trouble coming together to create that compromise or that medium because of deaths, or because they believe that their rights are being taken away. It's important to note that by July 31st in 2019, over 1,000 people have either been killed or injured in some sort of gun-related crime or mass shooting or even suicide. But also, on the other hand of things, that people such as this pro-gun activist whose sister was killed in Parkland said that the Second Amendment was written for the citizens, and that in order to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government, that it is necessary that we have the Second Amendment, and that we can't protect the First Amendment without having the Second Amendment, and that this idea of tyrannical government may not happen for hundreds or thousands of years, but once you take that right away, that you open the door for it to happen, and you make it easier for a tyrannical government to occur, while other people, on the other hand, think that because of the amount of deaths that innocent people have been killed or the way that guns are a part of drugs and so many different like illegal regimes, that it is just creating a more dangerous world, and they many people are looking at other countries that have abolished guns in their countries and seeing the progress that they have made and comparing it to that. When making your decision about how you feel about guns, gun control, gun violence, and the present state of affairs in our country, I think it's really important to note that try not to look at it as a black and white issue, as I said before, and that there is room for all different kinds of ideas and fluidity between parties if people decide that they want to make a compromise. I think it's also really important to figure out how guns affect your life personally and the people around you, and to think about all those people who don't live the life that you do live. I hope that this info session was informational and that you guys will go ahead and look at some of the opinions that our youth are giving us. And these youth are from all over the country and are providing their opinions, so check it out.